Hey guys, welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, over the past few years, we've actually heard and seen stories from around the country of hate crimes and attacks on Asian Americans.
Yeah, absolutely. And one group of movers and shakers from Orange County, California decided that one way to push back against the hate was to spread information about the Asian American community and what their impact and experience in society has actually been like. Joanna Kong is here to shed some light on this topic for us. Thank you so much for joining us on Main Street Living, Joanna.
Thank you so much for having me.
So this is a special month. It celebrates Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. What does this month mean to the AAPI community?
So Asian American Pacific Heritage Month, the month of May, is a really special time for our community because it's a time where we celebrate our culture and we celebrate the contributions that Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, or AAPIs, have made in America. And the API community makes up around 7% of the US population. Many people might not know that we're actually the fastest growing racial or ethnic group in the country. And one thing that I really want to emphasize, that our community leaders have been emphasizing for a long time, is that we are not a monolith. The term API includes cultures from the entire Asian continent, including East, Southeast, and South Asia, plus the Pacific Islands. And as a group, we consist of approximately 50 different ethnic groups, and we speak over 100 languages. And so this year's Heritage Month is especially meaningful for myself. It's really meaningful for the community members because given the wave of anti-Asian violence that both of you have alluded to. And so as many of us know, a little more than a year ago, 6 Asian women were killed while working at massage parlors in Atlanta. And this terrible act of violence really gave new visibility to the long history of discrimination that APIs have faced in this country.
In the next segment, we'll be premiering the PSA series about the Asian American, Native, Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities in Orange County. And as one of the organizers of that video, Joanna, can you tell us about who was involved in making the video series and how the video series came about?
Sure, I'm happy to. So the 4 organizations involved in creating this video series are Orange County Grantmakers, Orange County Community Foundation, Asian Pacific Community Fund, and Asian American Futures. And all 4 of these organizations are philanthropic organizations committed to equity and advancement and prosperity of all peoples. And as 4 organizations based in and working in Orange County, California, we created these PSA videos with the help of Cox Communications, following a series of online workshops about the API community in Orange County.
Well, now, I mean, you've definitely piqued our interest, of course. So can you kind of describe what each of the videos in the series, what viewers will see?
Sure. So the 4 videos each explain different topics. And so the first episode will talk about the history of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islanders in Orange County. The second video is about civic engagement. So this video is about how the Asian violence in our community has really catalyzed APIs to become more civically engaged. The third video is about our API Task Force, which is a collective of API organizations that came together to serve during the COVID-19 pandemic. And episode 4 is hearing from the next generation of API leaders in Orange County, sharing their thoughts and perspectives on the opportunities for the future of the API community.
Wow. Well, you mentioned the number 4, and earlier you touched on the 4 organizations that are helping out with the project. Can you describe the role in helping the Asian American Pacific Islander community?
Sure. I think philanthropy has a huge role to play in helping the API community, especially in uplifting our needs, filling in the gaps, and resourcing our community nonprofits that are doing really great work. In a recent report by Asian American Pacific Islanders in Philanthropy, we learned that less than 0.2% of philanthropic dollars goes to the API community. And I'll also note that very few philanthropic dollars go to the Black, Latino, and Native American communities as well. So it's really no wonder that organizations serving our community and other ethnic communities are all fighting for the same limited pool of funding, which really creates competition and scarcity. And so, what can funders do to help? Well, one, they can first educate themselves about the diverse culture and needs of our community. And two, really examine the model minority myth, this idea that Asian Americans are all rich and all successful. This has done a very big disservice in erasing our needs. We are actually the most economically divided racial or ethnic group in the country. We have both with high-level earners, low-level earners, high educational attainment, and also low educational attainment.
Gotcha.
Well, Joanna, this is obviously deeply personal for you. And as these videos launch on Main Street Living in Cox, what are you hoping that people learn about the AAPI community?
Sure. My hope is really for us to be seen and heard, to really be recognized for our contributions and to be respected equally as Americans. I think invisibility has been a huge issue for our community. There's both structural powers that have long omitted APIs from societal representation. We see it in Hollywood, we see it in government structures where our data is not collected, and we see it in the erasure of our stories. So we're really calling for a more equitable society for all, including APIs and other ethnic minorities. And we really need the support of all Americans to stand hand in hand with us in the fight for justice for all.
That's right. Well, when it comes to support, we have viewers that would definitely need to find more information. I'm sorry, about how to watch all of these videos. So how can the viewers do that really quick?
Sure. Please go watch our videos. You can go to www.ocgrantmakers.org.
We'll say less because we're absolutely going to see some of these videos coming up. A look back at AAPI history. Thank you so much to Joanna for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Quincy, we got to take a look at these videos. Some more AAPI history coming up next.